In this video, we'll be talking about The God Machine by Blind Guardian. The album was released on September 2nd, 2022. So let me start by saying that Blind Guardian is a power metal band, and the term power metal is very broad when you think about it. When you listen to different bands that have that label, they all sound very different. So in my opinion, Blind Guardian is on the heavier side of the power metal spectrum. This is a band that's also one of the pioneers of the genre. This is a band I don't know very well. I did listen to their first 5 or 6 albums about a week before this album came out, and it's one of those rare bands where their best albums came out during the 90s. It's a band, they're inspired by fantasy writers, so many famous ones. We have like J.R.R. Tolkien, Stephen King, George R.R. Martin, amongst many others. The main vocalist, Hansi Kusch, he's been with the band since its inception. He has very powerful vocal style, kind of like a mix between Ronnie James Dio and Dee Snider from Twisted Sister, and that's just my opinion, of course. The new album, The God Machine, is their 12th studio album. The first studio album in 7 years. They did release an album called Blind Guardian Twilight Orchestra, and that's just like the singer with an orchestra. I actually bought that CD. I have it like back there. I didn't take it out, but it's one of those CDs. I bought it in the racks. It was like a good price, and it just wasn't like for me because it's kind of like this very like epic like movie score type of sound. But their other albums are very different and very good. So this album is 9 songs in 51 minutes. Most of the songs inspired by novels. A few exceptions like Life Beyond the Spheres about like the creation of the universe, the Big Bang Theory, and Architects of Doom about Battlestar Galactica, which was a TV series, which was actually one I remember from when I was very young. But the rest of the songs are based on fantasy novels. So my favorite song would be Damnation. I think this is a song that would please fans of thrash metal. It has more of a darker tone. They have some speed in the verse sections, but at the same time, a lot of complex ideas incorporated into the sound. The solos are very intricate and melodic at the same time. The song definitely has some very heavy parts, kind of while being packaged as like a power metal song. The song also has a type of like sing-along ability, and that's kind of like a word I'm inventing like right now, but you know what I mean. It's just that type of a song. My least favorite song would be Destiny. That's the last song. Not a bad song, it just didn't really click with me, I guess. It's more of straightforward power metal, lots of like layered vocals, melodic guitar riffs. The heavier guitar riffs kind of like are mixed a little lower on the song, and it's very melodic. It's epic. The guitar solo is very melodic. It's okay, but the others were much better in my opinion. Now, the next few songs that I mentioned will be ones I call songs for metalheads that don't like power metal. These are ones that are more on like the thrasher side. They have more of an edge, and if you're kind of on the fence about power metal, these might be the ones that might win you over. So first song I chose from this category, Deliver Us from Evil. Now, this is one of those that just doesn't follow the rules of traditional power metal. They got like fast-paced rhythms, technical riffs, a little more along the lines of speed metal, but they don't like push it like too much. They don't lose that core sound. It has that nice balance of those rapid-fire galloping guitar riffs and those power metal style vocals. And it includes those like backing vocals, which like this band does often, and gives the song a very epic sound. Violent Shadows, another one, a little more like thrash metal at first, but as it progresses, it's kind of more along like classic like speed metal. They have some like darker vocal tones on this one. They're not afraid to let go and get very technical and aggressive in this song, but they don't completely abandon their sound. They still have melodic vocals in some parts of the song. The overall tone is much darker. The guitar solo stands out, and it's both technical and melodic. Architects of Doom is one that may be a little slow at first, but it gets heavy as it moves along. One of those songs, they incorporate like some of those like thrash metal riffs, and they're overlaid with some melodically guitar riffs. They have a nice mix of aggressive and melodic tones in the song. Very good use of the backing vocals, and there are times when it kind of sounds like thrash, other times they're more like a symphonic or power metal direction. And Blood of the Elves. Now, when you look at the title of this song, you're thinking, oh, okay, this is going to be some kind of cheesy, melodic, power metal song. But no, actually one of the heavier ones on the album. More along the lines of like thrash and speed and, lots of fast-paced drum beats, complex guitar riffs. More aggressive than the others. And the song still has those main components of like a traditional Blind Guardian song. We've got melodic vocals, backing vocals, and melodic lead guitars. But they just kind of turned up the heaviness on this one. And the next few songs I call are songs for those who love power metal. So I would say Secrets of the American Gods. This is one of the songs that's more of the classic power metal vein. And I would probably say this might be like my second favorite on the album. Not as fast as aggressive as some of the other songs, but just more of a traditional power metal formula. Lots of melody, lots of layer vocals. Just very memorable. Has like a bigger sound. It's more dense. It's more complex. Sounds more epic than some of the other songs, and I think this would please fans of traditional power metal. Life Beyond the Spheres, one's a little slower and complex, and songs about creation of the universe. So for that reason, I think their goal was to create something very like big and epic. Another song closer to power metal, but they kind of stretched the boundaries of that label a little, with like a little like some more darker tones, some like heavier vocals. And guitarists, they kind of like play around, like, this almost sound like groove metal at times, but the song still has a lot of melody and just a really good song. And the last song we'll talk about, Let It Be No More. I think this is more of a folk metal or power metal. It's the ballad of the album, so more atmospheric. You got the clean guitars, melodic vocals, and I think if you like traditional power metal, I mean, this might be one of your favorites. It's big and epic. It's a big ballad. The tone is different. It's kind of like positioned towards the end of the album, so it kind of gives the listener a break. When there's like a lot of like fast and heavy songs and then do something like slow. So it kind of like gives the listener like a nice kind of like break. So let me wrap this up. It's an album that will please those who love. If you love Blind Guardian, like you'll probably love this, and it also might win over some metal fans who they always say like, oh, I don't like power metal, that's not for me. But it's good. You might be won over with power metal or this band Blind Guardian with a few of these songs. So definitely give it a chance. It's a band I have not been listening to a long time. I just recently started listening to their older albums, but I would probably say it's maybe as good as like some of their ones from like the 90s. It's good. My score is an 8 out of 10. Let me know in the comments what you thought. I have two collaborations today that they will both be premiering today. One is the Children on the Couch's channel. We're talking about Toxicity by System of a Down. And the other one is on the Green Man's channel, talking about Ozzy Osbourne's The Ultimate Sin. And they will be premiering like throughout the day, and I will be posting those on my community tab, so please check my community tab so you don't miss those. And that's all. Thanks for watching, and see you all in the next one.